Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Jonathan, and this is Talking NBA. Today, we're going to be going over every team's X Factor. We're going to do two separate videos, one for the East, one for the West. Now, every team is going to have a different meaning of the X Factor. For the most part, who the X Factor to me is who is going to be the unknown, who comes out of nowhere, or not really out of nowhere, but who is not, your first, second, maybe even third option sometimes. Sometimes it could be off of injury. If somebody's coming back off of injury, they could be the X Factor. But today we're going to be going over my opinion on who's the X Factor on each and every team and who should show up. So we're going to start off with Portland. And Portland, to me, their X Factor is Nassir Little. Because we know Portland's team. We know Portland's team changed a whole lot this year. And, honestly, there could be a few X Factors. I kind of was fighting with this one on Portland. But I ended up going with Nassir Little because I feel like Nassir Little this year should be able to show up, improve. And if he can improve with when you have Dame already, when you have Anthony Simons, when you have Jeremy Grant, when you have Josh Hart, when you have Gary Payton. Now, I don't think that Portland's a contending team, but Nassir Little is young. So he is for the future. So him getting better is definitely an X factor for this year, showing that this year, if they can make the playoffs or the play-in. But I feel like Nassir Little is their X factor. Utah. With or without Dono, I don't know. If Donovan Mitchell gets traded before the season, then I don't know. It's sort of tough to tell. But for me, I went with Jared Vanderbilt. He just got traded there from Minnesota in the Rudy Gobert trade. The picks were the main thing that they got for the Rudy Gobert trade, but Jared Vanderbilt was another piece, and I do like Jared Vanderbilt. If Jared Vanderbilt can improve his offensive game even more than Rudy Gobert's offensive game was, if he takes another step in defensive, if we can start looking at Jared Vanderbilt maybe as one of those defensive player of the year, then it's Jared Vanderbilt. But other than that, I don't really have much to say. Utah has a lot going on, or a lot they still need to figure out, I should say. So we're going to move on to Denver. Denver was so easy to me. It's Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. It's got to be those two. They're coming back off of an injury. They're the X Factors. We know what Nikola Jokic is going to bring. So this is what I'm talking about with, sometimes it is going to be the second option. Just because, well, they are the X Factor. They're coming off an injury. We don't know what they're going to bring. Now, me personally, I do think Jamal Murray will take some time to come back into shape. We saw with Clay, his first game was electric, and then after that, he kind of slowed down. It's going to be the same with Jamal Murray. Michael Porter Jr., we just got to keep watching to see if his back is going to be okay, or is this just going to be something that happens every season? But no doubt those two are my X Factor. OKC Thunder. Now, we know that OKC ain't contending. I feel like OKC could have a dynasty in the next couple years just because of all their picks and if they pick everybody right. But for me, their X Factor's got to be Chet Holmgren. He has to be their X Factor. Now, there's so much players that is like unknown. What are they going to do? Are they going to take another step? OKC has, well, let's be honest, 13 out of 15 X Factors. Shea and Josh Giddey, even Josh Giddey could be an X Factor. Shea and maybe Lou Dort. I don't know, but Shea is definitely not an X Factor. Everybody else could be, but only reason why I said Chet's the X Factor because, again, is Chet going to show that he's their number one? Is Chet going to, is OKC going to realize that Chet's going to be their number one and Shea's going to be the Robin? Or is Chet just going to be the Robin while Shea is, the number one? Now, sometimes it might take more than just one season to find out, but, I feel like we're going to find out this year if Chet's going to be that man. All right. Next, we're going to Minnesota. This one as well was sort of easy. At first, I was going to put Anthony Edwards because I want to see him take that superstar jump, but that would be easy, wouldn't it? I don't want it to be that damn easy. So I went D'Angelo Russell. he is 1,000% the X factor, just because he is the only point guard on the team at this point who can really truly run point guard, and he's the only one that can keep Rudy involved in the offense. Now, granted, Anthony Edwards can keep Rudy in the offense, but I feel like with the way D'Lo is a pretty good pick and roll player. He doesn't even need Cat to be a pick and roll anymore. It could be D'Lo and Rudy. D'Lo and Rudy. And then you have Anthony Edwards and Cat as your actual best offensive players, but D'Lo and Rudy are going to be more of the offensive players together. Like, you combine them, because Rudy's, of course Rudy's offensive game is sort of non-existent, but with D'Angelo Russell, I feel like D'Angelo Russell could keep Rudy Gobert involved a little bit more, better than Mike Conley could. So that's why D'Angelo Russell is the X factor for me. Lakers. Oh boy, here we are, the Lakers. The Lakers, again, this one was easy. It's got to be Russell Westbrook. It's got to be. He's the X factor. What's he going to do? Is he going to buy in? Is he going to buy into Darvin Ham's way of doing it? There's certain things that people say that he needs to buy into. But is Russell Westbrook going to buy in? That's the only question. That is the only question for me with Russell Westbrook. Is he going to buy in? If he does, Lakers could be good this year. If he doesn't, well, we already saw what happened. Clippers. This one was also easy. John Wall. They just picked up John Wall on a minimum contract. For a while there, they were just playing with Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson was their best point guard. I do like Reggie Jackson, but I feel like Reggie Jackson is better coming off the bench as a sixth man. And John Wall actually being here and facilitating, knowing that he isn't going to be a number 1 or 2 option. He's going to be a 3 or 4, even behind possibly Norman Powell. But John Wall is definitely going to be the X factor for this season for the Clippers. Warriors, hands down, Klay Thompson. This is one of those where it's an injury X factor, just like Denver. Now, Klay Thompson came back last year, but, he wasn't necessarily Klay Thompson. He was enough to win the championship, don't get me wrong. But Andrew Wiggins was their second best player. They always had a rotating second best player for the most part, certain days, but all in all, Andrew Wiggins was their second best player. Will Klay Thompson take that throne back? Will Klay Thompson be the second best player again on this Warriors team? If he is, yeah, this team has a real chance, a real big possibility of going back to back. Kings. At first, with the Kings, I had De'Aaron Fox, but then I thought that's a little easy. Picking De'Aaron Fox. I thought, De'Aaron Fox, with having a different offense, different players on his team, more shooting, better shooting than he did last year. I thought De'Aaron Fox would be the X factor, but you know what? I changed it. I changed it to Harrison Barnes. I feel like Harrison Barnes is going to be the X factor just because if he played like he did in the beginning of last year, where he was dominant, if he can play like that with a more balanced team with De'Aaron Fox, you got Domantas Sabonis, Keegan Murray, you got Kevin Huerter. If he can play like that, the Kings can look at a plan. So that's why I'm thinking Harrison Barnes is definitely going to be their X factor. Phoenix, DeAndre Ayton. Is DeAndre Ayton going to buy back in? That's my only question. Is DeAndre Ayton going to buy back in? They have Bismack Biyombo behind them, but it's not like they have JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee is a really good backup. Bismack, I don't know. But DeAndre Ayton's got to buy back in. It ended nasty last year with the whole benching, and he's their star center. He's the third option. He's got to buy back into the Suns. If he doesn't, this team is definitely not a contender. Mavs, Spencer Dinwiddie. This one was easy just because they don't have Jalen Brunson no more. So, guess what? Spencer Dinwiddie is their second best guard option at this point. Yeah, we know about Luka. We know what Luka's going to do. Spencer was really nice on that. When he got traded from the Wizards, where he wasn't that good, to the Mavs, where he was really good, and a key piece of why they actually made it to the conference finals. Yeah, it's got to be Spencer. Spencer is definitely the X factor here. Rockets, Kevin Porter Jr. Again, this could have been an easy one where I say Jalen Green. Because, if Jalen Green gets better, then this team's going to get better. But Kevin Porter Jr. is still on the team, and they're still trying to see if Kevin Porter Jr. is actually going to stick with this team. Is he going to be the point guard of the future? Now, he's more of a combo guard. I don't think he is a straight point guard. But no matter what, if KPJ has a really good season this year, with Jalen Green having a much improved season, and Jabari Smith Jr. and Alfred Sengun, then that will show some stuff. That's why I said KPJ. KPJ's if KPJ said at one point he wants to have double-digit assists. Well, KPJ, it's on you. It's on you. Spurs. This one was tough just because right now it's the Spurs, and they're definitely not even trying to win. So in this one, that's why I was like, if somebody just shows something for the future, that would be very important. And so that's why I'm going with Josh Primo here. Josh Primo, Greg Pop definitely saw something in Josh Primo. I really hope that Josh Primo can really show why he was picked in the lottery. When a lot of people saw him going late first, and he got picked in the lottery. Now, the Spurs always be making these type of picks, yeah. But they traded DeJounte Murray. Now, they still have a bunch of other guards on the team, of course. But you know what? To me, it's got to be Josh Primo. Because if Josh Primo can show something, and if they can somehow get Victor Wembanyama, so then they got Josh Primo and Victor Wembanyama because Josh Primo decided to step up. And then they have their role players already with Keldon Johnson. That's what I'm saying, Josh Primo. We know that Keldon Johnson can get better. He's going to be their number one option. But man, Josh Primo doing really good. That will come out of nowhere. All right, Pelicans. This one was actually really easy. Because the Pelicans are a really nice roster. They're really, to me, they're pretty well constructed. They put CJ at the 1. I do like that. But to me, the X factor is Jonas Valanciunas. With Zion coming back, I feel like Jonas is going to have to shoot more threes. He's shown that he can make them. Is he going to be willing to shoot them? That's my only question. With Zion coming back, he's going to need to start shooting threes more. You don't want both him and Zion down low. Nah, that's Zion's territory now. So, I'm really going to need Jonas Valanciunas to shoot more threes. Grizzlies. Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane had a really great jump from his rookie to his sophomore season. Desmond Bane was one of the reasons. He was the X factor last year of why they got better. Him and Ja, of course. Ja improved so much. Ja was, I wouldn't say he's the X factor. Desmond Bane was clearly the X factor because Ja was already like, Ja's going to be a superstar. But if Desmond Bane can take another step, this is exciting. That's very exciting. Memphis was the youngest team. And to be second in the Western Conference, which is usually a tough conference, which isn't going to get easier. The Western Conference got harder. The Clippers are better. The Minnesota's better. Lakers, I mean, Utah's worse, sure, but Portland's even better. So, Desmond Bane, if he can improve once again, that's their X factor. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching this video. Come back for part 2, the Eastern Conference. This was part 1, the Western Conference. I wanted to tell you, everybody, thank you for watching this video. Come back for part 2 for the Eastern Conference. This was fun. And no, I'm not done doing the 30 teams. I know I've slowed down with that, but I'm gonna get back to the 30 teams. But I just wanted to make a little other video on X Factors coming into the season. Like I said, thank you for watching, and come back next time.